What happens when one person's vision infects hundreds, leading them willingly to their own destruction? These aren't hidden killers. These are orchestrated mass deaths, led by charismatic leaders with apocalyptic visions. These are stories of communities built on hope, only to be destroyed by the very leaders who created them. Tonight, we explore 3 real-life cults that ended in mass murder and left behind a trail of bodies, silence, and disbelief. Jim Jones began as a champion of equality, drawing people to his people's temple with promises of unity and justice. He offered family to the lost, hope to the hopeless. But beneath the utopian surface, darkness grew. Jones demanded absolute loyalty, turning his followers' trust into a tool for control. Public confessions, humiliation, and paranoia became daily life. The solution, he said, was escape. A new paradise in the jungles of Guyana, Jonestown. Hundreds followed, giving up everything to build a new Eden. But Jonestown was no paradise. Grueling labor, isolation, and Jones's voice blaring day and night replaced hope with fear. Passports were confiscated, mail censored, the jungle a prison. Jones staged white night drills, rehearsals for mass suicide, testing loyalty with fake poison. When Congressman Leo Ryan arrived to investigate, cracks appeared, some begged for rescue. Jones saw only betrayal. As Ryan's group tried to leave, Jones's guards opened fire, killing 5. The end was set. Jones gathered everyone, urging them to die with dignity, a revolutionary act, he claimed. Poisoned grape drink was prepared. Children were the first victims, parents forced to administer death. Adults followed, some willingly, others by force. Guards ensuring no escape. Over 900 died, the largest deliberate loss of American civilian life until 9/11. Jones died by gunshot, denying the poison he forced on others. The world was left in shock. How could so many follow him to their deaths? They weren't weak. They were searching for purpose, manipulated by a leader who twisted hope into a weapon. Jonestown is a warning. Charisma without conscience can turn dreams into nightmares. The phrase, drinking the Kool-Aid, trivializes the horror. A web of love, fear, and belief, methodically woven until escape seemed impossible. The warning signs, isolation, public shaming, absolute loyalty, were there. But inside, those signs felt like proof of a sacred mission. That's the most terrifying part. When the only voice you hear is the one leading you to the edge. Jonestown's legacy is not just tragedy, but a lesson in the dangers of unchecked power and blind faith. The silence that followed was not peace, it was hope, extinguished. A paradise promised, a nightmare delivered, and it all began with a single, seductive voice. Heaven's Gate was a cult for the digital age, part sci-fi, part apocalypse, all-consuming. Led by Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles, Dew and Ty, they promised a cosmic ascension, a journey to the next level aboard a spaceship trailing the Hale-Bopp comet. Their theology mixed the Bible, New Age ideas, and UFO lore, offering escape from a corrupt world. Members gave up everything, families, possessions, even their identities, adopting new names and androgynous appearances. The goal shed all earthly attachments and become pure vessels for ascension. After Nettles died, Applewhite claimed she'd simply moved ahead to the next level, cementing his role as sole leader. The internet became their pulpit, spreading their message and funding their commune through web design. As the comet approached in 1997, Applewhite declared it was time to leave their vehicles and board the ship. Members recorded calm, almost cheerful exit statements, convinced they were about to graduate from humanity. In a rented mansion, 39 people died in waves, lethal cocktails, plastic bags, and matching black Nikes. The scene was eerily orderly, beds made, IDs and bags packed, purple shrouds covering each body. There was no violence, no coercion, just a chilling bureaucratic march to death. Applewhite's final video is haunting. He speaks with conviction, certain they're about to be beamed up. Heaven's Gate wasn't about fleeing an enemy, it was about running toward a destiny, a narrative so powerful it replaced reality. The members weren't just followers, they were co-authors of a science fiction epic, living and dying by its script. What's most disturbing is the quiet resolve, the methodical nature of their end. No guards, no force, just belief, absolute and unyielding. Heaven's Gate is a story of how a narrative, repeated enough, can become more real than life itself. It's a warning. The most seductive stories are the ones that promise escape from pain, meaning in chaos. But sometimes the price is everything. In the end, they didn't find a spaceship. They found only silence. A digital age apocalypse, calm, clinical, and utterly final. The world watched, stunned, as belief became oblivion. Heaven's Gate is a testament to the power of story and the danger when it becomes your only reality. They walked through death's door not with fear but with anticipation, and left behind a tableau of faith, frozen in time. The Order of the Solar Temple was a cult of secrets, mysticism, and deadly deception. Led by Luc Jouret and Joseph de Mambro, it promised spiritual ascension through esoteric rituals and apocalyptic prophecy. Jouret was the charismatic face. De Mambro, the manipulative puppet master, staged fake miracles to convince followers of their divine mission. The doctrine mixed environmental doom, secret societies, and a promised escape to a planet orbiting Sirius, through fire. Only the most devoted and wealthy reached the inner circle, where de Mambro controlled every aspect of their lives. The horror began in 1994. A baby, declared the Antichrist, was murdered in a ritual killing. Soon after, fires erupted in Switzerland and Canada. Bodies found in star patterns, dressed in ceremonial robes. Some were shot, some drugged, many murdered before the flames. Letters claimed the dead had transited to another world, but evidence showed many were killed against their will. The violence continued. More fires, more deaths, even children left sedated but alive as their parents perished. In total, 74 died, victims of a leader's paranoia and a conman's tricks. De Mambro's use of stage magic to fake divine events was manipulation at its most cynical. The Solar Temple's followers were often educated, successful, proof that anyone can be drawn in by the right mix of charisma and pressure. The end was not a peaceful exit, but a series of violent, theatrical deaths. The fires were meant to purify, to transform, but they only destroyed. What remains is not a new world, but orphaned children, grieving families, and the ashes of a belief system built on lies. The Solar Temple's legacy is a warning. When leaders promise transcendence through destruction, the only thing waiting is ruin. Jouret drew them in with light. De Mambro consumed them with fire. The cult's end was a desperate gesture, a final, deadly illusion. Strip away the robes and rituals, and it's a story of fraud, paranoia, and murder. The search for purity became an excuse for brutality. The promise of a journey to the stars ended in flames. The Solar Temple is a testament to the deadly power of charisma and cynicism combined. In the end, the only thing they transcended was life itself. The fires left nothing but silence and loss. A cult built on secrets, destroyed by its own lies. The legacy, trust, hope, and lives consumed by fire. And a final, chilling lesson in the cost of blind faith. In the aftermath, it's the silence that lingers. The quiet after Jonestown, the stillness of Rancho Santa Fe, the ashes of the Solar Temple. Each began with hope, ended in horror, and left only silence behind. These aren't just stories of cults. They're warnings about the seductive power of certainty and the danger of surrendering your questions to someone else's answers. The faces in old photos remind us, these were people like us, searching for meaning, led into the abyss. The lesson is clear. The most dangerous place is wherever someone claims to have all the answers. Subscribe for more chilling deep dives into real horror, and remember, always question the voice that promises paradise. Sometimes the cost of belief is everything.